Bonjour à tous, bonjour, bonjour. Comment allez-vous aujourd'hui? What do you think that means? You probably have heard it before. Aujourd'hui is, how are you guys doing today? Great. One second, you are figuring this out, and as I am inviting my colleague here, and from New York. Voilà. Just give me one more second as I am doing one thing at a time. Très important. Voilà. Une chose à la fois, as we say in French. Une chose à la fois. So one thing at a time. Voilà. And I am here. I do know it's about one person at a time. Voilà, voilà. Je suis là. Et voilà. Très bien. It takes few maneuvers. This is vertical. Here we go.
Okay.
Voilà. So, otherwise I'll be like, bonjour, Cornell.
Okay, now my phone is, can you see me? Because I'm having a little.
Yeah. We see you very, very well.
Okay. I am having a little trouble seeing you, but as long as you can see me, I will just sort of
Awesome.
pantomime and assume that, let me see here. There's a little thing here
Now
that,
we can see your book. Yes.
okay.
Worldwide Phrase Book.
Oh,
Awesome.
no. Wait a
Here
minute.
you
Oh,
go.
it
Yeah, you're
flipped, it
good.
flipped the camera. Okay. But for some reason, it is not showing me
Okay.
you.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand why that
We
is.
can see you very well.
Hold on a second. Okay. Well, hello. Yeah. Bonjour.
That's awesome. Yeah, we always learn something new every day, right?
Yes, indeed.
Voilà.
Technology is always quite frustrating, but it's interesting. Can't say that it's boring.
No, that's for sure. Talking about changes, right? We were talking about that yesterday and today. Yes, we got to be ready for changes. New year, new you.
Yes,
We
indeed.
adapt. Yes, we
Yes.
adapt. And that's what it is. And it's really rewarding. I mean, you can really, you can try not to adapt or to slow down or slow the process of doing something new. But no matter what, it will always, days are moving forward, right? Time is passing by and things
Yes.
will happen no matter what. And we all know that, right?
Yes, indeed,
So
we do.
how about just embracing it rather, right?
Yes.
Than just fighting it. So embracing it. And also, I believe that sometimes it's even great to make and want some changes for yourself as well.
Yes. And to look forward to them.
Mm-hmm.
As we were discussing earlier, because here's a news flash, folks. We have a conversation with each other before we come live on Facebook, so we kind of have an idea of what we're going to talk about. But as we discuss, one of the resistance and one of the things as we hear, because Agnes, of course, is Agnes Bonne Consulting. I am Community IT Solutions, and we both work to provide services and value to the people who are our customers and clients. And so we ask ourselves, we're having a conversation about change and what it is that causes people to resist change.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, obviously, I don't think it comes as any big secret to people, is it's fear and discomfort, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I think part of that manifests itself, at least from my understanding, is in a reluctance to face the change. And I think that a way to be more comfortable with that, to get past the discomfort and fear, is to just accept it, and not only to accept it, but to look forward to it rather than, oh, goodness, here's a thing that I've never done before. We can say, oh, let me look forward. Here's a challenge. Like, think of children when they're like especially because I love kids, especially when they're at that little age when they're like between 2 and 3 years old and they're being pushed around in the pram or they're toddling along holding mom or dad's hands, and everything to them is new and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, wow, because they don't think, oh, here's a thing I've never seen before, because everything is a thing they've never seen before.
Exactement.
And they look forward to another things like, oh, here's this new person, here's a new sight, here's a new smell, here's a new thing. He said, no, don't put that in your mouth. Sometimes they're a little too eager to embrace change. But I think we should try to be like that
Mm-hmm.
in ourselves as adults, and we should look forward to meeting that new change or coming to a new challenge again. And I obviously I'm not just randomly talking here. I think that leads us to our phrase for today,
Mm-hmm.
which is I will leave that to you to share with our audience what today's phrase is.
Exactement. So it would be à bientôt.
Yes, à bientôt. Now, as the non-French speaking person here, my understanding of à bientôt
Mm-hmm.
is not to try to literally translate the word, because that's not what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Is unlike au revoir, which simply is like like adieu or whatever have you.
Mm-hmm.
It implies that I am looking forward to our next encounter, to
Mm-hmm.
seeing you again. And it's like a bientôt, which is like see you soon,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know that that's what the words literally mean,
Mm-hmm.
but that is the way that my understanding of the phrase, if I were to
Mm-hmm.
use it conversationally, would mean.
Exactement. And that's what it is. Yes. So I like to also think of, when people hear bien, right?
Yes,
You probably heard the word bien.
yes,
So right there, it's already a good, and we're not translating here word by word, like you said. We
exactly.
don't need to do that. But it's really a good feeling, right?
Yes,
You feel bien, like,
yes,
it's welcoming, right?
yes,
And actually, that's what it means as well. When you say bienvenue, it means welcome.
right,
So again, it has a prefix, the word of bien, right, which is B-I-E-N in French, so
right,
B-I-E-N. And that is just bien, right?
right, right.
So bienvenue, right? It is welcome. And bientôt, okay, that's a
Mm,
suffix T-O-T, right, with a
right,
chapeau, the little hat on the O.
right,
It's really something to do coming up, like you said. You have the feeling it's coming up soon. It's not the end. It's not au revoir forever, right?
right, right,
It's welcoming back
right,
you,
right.
right?
Exactly, exactly.
Voila. So just let's remember that. And we're not saying goodbye because we're saying we're going to see you soon next week again,
Right,
right?
right, exactly.
Voila. So it's a great way to approach it that way. And just to again remember, it's all about connection, feeling the language first of all versus any translation. And
Right.
that's exactly like going back to what you said earlier. Let's just become a child
Yeah,
again, because we all a child. Remember, this is where we come from.
right.
We are all a child within, and let's allow ourselves to be that
Yes,
child again.
yes. To have that sense of discovery and of excitement
Mm-hmm.
about everything, about encountering. And I think it's so easy as we get older. As you know, last month I turned 63 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
I find that a lot of people, as they get older, they sort of, I don't know, they get kind of crusty. They're sort of like,
Mm.
cranky and, well, what's this? I'm not familiar with this. I don't like this. And,
Is
you
that
know,
how we speak in New York, Cornell? Love it.
well, not particularly in New York, but I mean, I don't think you have to be an older person to be like that as a New Yorker. But I'm just talking
Just kidding.
more to people who get to a certain age, especially over 50,
Uh-huh.
um, because there's more stuff in their past than in their future. Let's
Mm-hmm.
face it.
C'est vrai.
63, I doubt that I'm going to live to be 126 years old.
Et
So I
voilà.
don't have as much as I've already lived ahead of me
Mm-hmm.
in my life. Even if I live to be 93, that's only 30 more years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more that I've already done than I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that a child can look at things in excitement is because most of their life is still in front of them. But I think that part of what keeps you vital is by maintaining that attitude, that sense of joy and wonderment, even though we're older, because it's not about how many years I have left. It's about how I am living the years that I am here. And
Exactement.
so that is something to look forward to every day, to every moment, to every opportunity, to find joy and happiness in whatever it is I'm doing, whoever it is I'm doing it with. And and whatever experiences I have, whatever changes I'm going through, just to have a sense of joy and excitement and wonder. And that's why I like the phrase "a bientôt," which is bientôt. I look forward to seeing you again. I will see you again. It's not like bye. Yeah, get out of here.
Never see you
you know,
again.
yes, exactly. It's like
I
I will
hope to
see you
never
again.
see you again.
Yeah, yeah, get out of here. Don't let the doorknob hit you. No, but but just to have that sense of fun and play, and and I think that's a good attitude, and that's why I like our conversations about language, because it's not just like you said, look it up in a dictionary and see this word in French literally translates to this word in English, because first of all, that's not how language works at all. Like, for example, I was talking to a friend of mine. If I were to say to someone, "What's up?" You know, I don't know. Well, the life's that's not what I'm asking you when I say what's up.
I love that. What's up? That's a
So
good
if I
one.
was to go to a dictionary and look that, and I imagine how, puzzling it might be for someone. Hey, what's up? And then again, we don't say what's up. We say sup, and it's like
Hmm.
sup. You mean like to sup, eat a meal, sup, as opposed to dine, and which again, sup is short for supper, and it's like no, 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 no. It's like so. We have to understand what the language means and conveys, and not just what the words translate to. And I think that's
Exactement.
what I find enjoyable about the ABC method, is that it's not just because if you just want to learn what the words mean, you can just get an app like
Hmm.
Duolingo or Babbel or something like that, and just or get a book like this,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
just look up phrases,
Hmm.
But if you want to have a sense of communicating with people, you
Hmm.
know, of getting your meaning and your thoughts across and not just your words.
Hmm.
And I think that's what people who are watching these videos
Yes,
should understand, is that that's what they will receive with the ABC method, is
completely.
is how to communicate.
Hmm. Totally, yes. And it's very interesting because just something came up to me. Yesterday, I met a dear friend of mine, and it's actually, I met him in France, in south of France. And, he welcomed me in French, and he have a great accent.
Mm,
And then later on, he told me he's American. And I said, you're joking me, right?
mm,
And
huh,
finally to find out he is American. And so, but
okay.
I do never, hear him speaking English because we always speak French
Mm,
and he's fluent and with no
okay.
accent. So here I am meeting him here in the US actually yesterday. And so I said, so how you feel to be back home, your other home, right? How do you feel?
Right.
He says, well, I says, plus you speak well the language. People don't even ask you where you're from, really. I mean, if you're not from Europe or if you have a, different accent,
Right.
but, within the US. And then he says, well, it's not only the language. Cornell, I love
Mm.
the way you are. You're upside down now. Hello, Cornell.
Oh,
I love it.
okay.
It's awesome.
I was hoping the camera would flip itself. I guess I've got to flip it
That's
back.
fine. I love it. It's fun.
No, that's
It's
a little weird.
I love
Yeah.
I love it. We just go like that. Pas de problème. We adapt. Pas de problème. Love it. So anyhow, and then so I asked him, I said, so how you feel? Because, I mean, people won't even know that you're from, you live in another country, right?
Mm,
And he says, well, to tell you, it's not just about the language, because obviously when I speak, American, people would, they know I'm American, but it's not
right.
about the culture, the language. It is about the culture. And actually I said, and how do you feel? You feel like home? He says, well, I feel like home, but as a stranger.
Mm,
And
mm,
I says, and why you feel that way? He says, well, it's a different culture. Okay.
right. Right.
So right there, he speaks better English than I do, with definitely an amazing American accent.
Right.
And I tell you, it doesn't matter. So again, just like you said, it doesn't matter about the words that
Yes.
you're going to use, but how you feel,
Yes.
right? And the culture and the knowledge and the expressions and everything around that.
Yes.
So it's really right there. I thought it was a great answer to,
Yeah.
it's not just about, me speaking the language. Like you said, you can just go to an
And
app.
that's a very interesting point, because I really think, especially in my conversations with you and us knowing each other over the years, that it is about cultural, appreciating culture. Because as you know, my first time in France was in 2016 when I flew over with a group of representatives of various not-for-profits, and we spoke at a 2-day lecture series at the Stade de France in Saint-Denis.
Stade de France.
And yeah, and so we were there for 8 days, and so we had time to, to travel around. We went to the U.S. Embassy in France, and we went to the Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to actually, that was my second time in France, but both times that I've been there, there's this concept among Americans that French people are rude. If you don't speak French, they're gonna turn up their nose at you. I found no experience of that whatsoever. I found that people were very friendly,
Mm-hmm.
very, very genial. And I think that the problem that Americans have with when they go to any country, France and wherever, is that they behave like ugly Americans. You know, it's one
I
thing
love your
to
authenticity.
yeah, it's one thing to insist on, hey, can I get a sandwich over here? You know, I didn't speak very much French, and I don't speak very much French now. But so I was kind of like, is this going to be a handicap to me? Obviously, when you're in Europe, and France is right across the channel from England, for crying out loud. So there is enough people who are familiar enough with the French language. But when I was with my friends, the first time I went to France in 2001 in August, we stopped at a couple of places, and we saw some bands performing songs in English,
Mm-hmm.
but they were performing them phonetically. So they didn't know what the words they were singing were. Just
Mm-hmm.
like it was like, most people don't necessarily know what they're saying, but they know that that's a French song.
Mm-hmm.
And because we appreciated their
Mm-hmm.
performance, there was a communication, even though, well,
Mm-hmm.
I was with my friends, and particularly I was with a couple.
Mm-hmm.
The wife is from Paris, and the husband speaks fairly fluent French because he's a polyglot, first of all, and secondly, he's married to a woman from
Mm-hmm.
France. But our spirit was engaging and
Mm.
receptive, and that is why it didn't matter whether we could communicate. Like one night we went into this, I wish I could remember where it was like in a basement, and there was like stadium seating, and then there was a stage toward the bottom of these tiered seats.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting kind of at the top, and then at the level below me is a French gentleman who was increasingly enjoying his I don't know, vino or his beer or whatever he was drinking,
Mm-hmm.
and he kept looking back at me and seeing my hair, and couldn't speak any English. So he was always like, hey, Bob Marley, hey, Kingston, Jamaica, hey, Bob Marley. So I'm not, like I say, the closest I've ever been to Jamaica is Jamaica, Queens. But I understood that what he was saying was, dude, I dig your hair, I dig your spirit, and I
Uh-huh.
just want to let you know I'm a friendly guy, and
Uh-huh.
hey, and so those were the only words he had to express his heart.
Mm-hmm.
But I got what his heart was saying. So it didn't
Voilà.
matter what his words were saying.
Exactement. That's awesome. Exactement. That's it. Voilà. So it is possible for everyone. You don't need to speak it.
Yeah.
Just feel it and connect. So
Yes.
I hope you can join us and see the recording, if not live. And also I wanted to invite you, for everyone who's going to go through Orlando, who's in Orlando. We're having this Sunday afternoon, we're having a gathering, an event for 2-hour immersion. And that is right there for people that have no idea about maybe any other languages, or has taken some French before but forgot, or even know a little bit of French, it doesn't matter, or even do know French. It doesn't matter either, because we'll have an amazing theme for everybody. It's
Right.
going to be very exciting. So please join us. Just give me a message on Facebook or wherever you find me,
And
and I'll
actually,
give you the
if you
details.
could, Agnes,
Mm-hmm.
when we're done with this, if you could post as a comment to this Facebook Live,
Mm-hmm.
post the information about
Okay.
that event.
Très bien. Yes, I did post already message on Facebook, but
Yeah.
I put it again in the
Yeah.
comment. Pas de problème. Yeah, very good. Thank you for my for the tech part. I love it. J'adore. That sounds so. Thank
Well,
you for
just trying to communicate with the people who might be watching this video.
completely. Yeah, and that's for sure. And that's thank you for your input and for being here and participating and helping me with the tech part and all of that. So that's awesome. Yes,
Yes.
definitely will be an experience. Remember, something new, new year, new thing, new you, right?
Yeah. New year, new you.
Um,
Yes, indeed.
if there is a time, procrastination is one thing that I left behind long time ago.
Mm.
Is dare to do it, dare to try. Doesn't it doesn't involve much of anything. Just come to what that event only, and you
Yeah.
have a better feeling of what's possible for you. Because again, French is the foundation of many other languages, and for other 30 reasons of why you definitely want to learn French.
Yes.
So there is so much more reasons for it. I will help you many ways, and doing coaching at the same time as I am offering to use the French language as a tool to get wherever you want to go. So make sure to join us and comment on live or not, or recordings, however, in the message that you see. We'd love to have you at some point. We'll be here for you. And merci, Cornell, again. So
There
we'll
I am.
see
I'm
you.
sorry.
Ah, très bien. So I'll see you next week, next Thursday at same
Yes.
time. Uh, we'll give you a different environment on next Thursday. Will be a surprise.
Yes, c'est vrai.
So make sure yes, you probably know what it is. So make sure you come and join us same time every Thursdays at 12:30 Eastern time, New York
Yes.
time for Cornell.
Yes,
Et
sir.
voilà.
Okay. Yes. And my friends out there, à bientôt.
À bientôt.